Imagine walking into a luxury hotel, dressed in the finest suit, only to be turned away. Not because you couldn't afford it, but because of the color of your skin. That's exactly what happened to a black billionaire when he stepped into a high-end hotel, expecting world-class service, but was met with cold rejection instead. The staff looked down on him, making it clear he wasn't welcome. Humiliated but not defeated, he walked out. But he didn't forget. What happened next is the kind of revenge money can't buy. Instead of getting angry, he got even, just not in the way they expected. With quiet determination and the power of his wealth, he made a move that left everyone speechless. The very same hotel that refused him. Well, let's just say the next time he walked through those doors, the staff had no choice but to show him respect. Stay tuned. This wasn't just any billionaire. He was a self-made man, someone who had fought his way to the top despite every obstacle. He knew rejection all too well, but this one stung differently. It wasn't about money or power. It was personal. As he walked away from that hotel, he made a silent promise to himself. They had judged him by his appearance, but they had no idea who they were dealing with. Later that night, sitting in his penthouse suite at another five-star hotel, he couldn't shake the feeling of injustice. He thought about all the people who had been treated the same way, but didn't have the resources to fight back. That's when an idea took root, an idea that would turn this moment of humiliation into something far greater. He made a few calls, reached out to his team, and set a plan in motion. The hotel had no idea what was coming. Over the next few weeks, he quietly gathered information about the hotel. He learned about its financial struggles, the history behind its ownership, and most importantly, its weaknesses. From the outside, it looked like a thriving business, but behind closed doors, things weren't so perfect. The management was barely keeping up with expenses, and the owners were desperate for a way out. They had no idea that the very man they turned away was now watching their every move. Meanwhile, the staff who had refused him continued their days, as if nothing had happened. They had served wealthy guests without a second thought, never realizing they had insulted someone with more power than they could imagine. But whispers of change started spreading through the hotel halls. Employees noticed unusual meetings, discussions about a possible buyout, and rumors of new ownership. Something big was happening, but no one knew just how much their world was about to change. Days turned into weeks, and the hotel's troubles only deepened. The billionaire stayed in the shadows, working silently, making moves that no one saw coming. He sent his team to negotiate behind closed doors, disguising his identity to avoid suspicion. The owners, desperate for a way out, were eager to sell to the highest bidder. Little did they know, the man they had once humiliated was the one pulling the strings. Inside the hotel, tension was rising. Longtime employees feared what new ownership could mean. Some whispered that a powerful investor was preparing to take over, but no one knew who. The managers scrambled, trying to maintain control, but uncertainty filled the air. Then one evening, the hotel received an unexpected notice, an official announcement that the sale was almost complete. The staff gathered in confusion, watching as an unfamiliar team of executives walked through the lobby. Something was about to change forever. The staff stood frozen as the executives walked in, their polished shoes clicking against the marble floor. The air felt heavy with uncertainty, and whispers filled the grand lobby. Managers scrambled to greet the newcomers, their faces a mix of forced smiles and quiet panic. But then, just as the tension peaked, the front doors swung open once more. The billionaire himself walked in, this time with confidence, his presence commanding the room. The same man they had once turned away was now standing before them, not as a guest, but as their new boss. Gasps rippled through the staff. Some recognized him instantly, the very man they had denied service. Others exchanged confused glances, unsure of what was happening. But before anyone could react, the hotel's general manager, the same one who had looked down on him that day, stepped forward. His expression tightened as he realized the truth. He had made a mistake that was about to cost him everything. Silence filled the room as the billionaire stood at the center of the lobby, letting the weight of the moment sink in. The general manager, who once dismissed him without a second thought, shifted uncomfortably, his confidence crumbling. He opened his mouth to speak, perhaps to explain or apologize. But before he could utter a word, the billionaire raised a hand. "No need," he said calmly. "I remember exactly how you treated me." The executives revealed the final paperwork, his name signed at the bottom, making him the official owner. The staff braced themselves, expecting firings, demotions, or worse. But then came the twist no one saw coming. Instead of revenge, he offered opportunity. "This place needs change," he said, "and that starts with leadership." He turned to the staff. "Those who value respect and service will have a future here. But those who don't, well, you know where the door is." The general manager swallowed hard, his fate already sealed. The hotel was no longer just a building, it was a statement. The billionaire didn't just buy it to prove a point. He bought it to make it better for everyone. In the weeks that followed, the hotel transformed. Under its new leadership, changes rippled through every corner. Better training, fair policies, and a culture built on respect, not judgment. Employees who once feared for their jobs now felt inspired, realizing that they were part of something bigger. The guests, too, noticed the shift. Service improved, and the atmosphere became more welcoming than ever before. As for the former general manager, he left quietly, replaced by someone who valued people over appearances. The billionaire never looked back, knowing his real victory wasn't in buying the hotel. It was in proving that dignity and success go hand in hand. He had turned rejection into power, but more importantly, he had turned a place of exclusion into a symbol of change. And as he walked through the lobby one last time, he smiled. This wasn't just about business. It was about rewriting the rules on his own terms.